Hey, what is going on YouTube? It is GeneralTarheel, your coach of the Charlotte Charlotte Charmanders, returning for APA Season 4 Little Cup. For those of you who do not know, my name is GeneralTarheel. I provide Pokemon Draft League content to YouTube. It is what I enjoy to play and upload. And I participate in leagues such as the APA in the previous seasons. APA Showdown, even though I've taken a slight break from that. P4G Next Gen, which was the D League for Pokemon 4 Glory. And a few other smaller leagues such as like the PBL, which I created recently. But I really do enjoy providing Pokemon Draft League content. I try to do the best I can. Commentary is a little bit rough, but I try to work on it every now and then for live comms at least. Replays are a little bit better, which I'll be doing for this season. So please stick around, look forward to it. I plan on actually branching out to a lot more stuff in the future. I'm gonna be grabbing an Elgato. I'll be uploading some Fortnite because I do enjoy the game, whether you think it's cringe or not, or you just don't like it. It's whatever. I love the game. I will also be uploading Smash Bros. Ultimate later on. But you guys are here for the APA, for the draft, and that's what I'm going to be going over. The APA, if you don't know, is the American Pokemon Association, and yes, we are on their Season 4, and no, Little Cup is not an off-season. People were speculating that, or asking that, stuff like that, but no. Pokemon's going to be this way for a while. Of course, we're not getting a Gen 8 or whatever until another year. So you got to mix it up every now and then, you know, add some spice and whatnot. So for this season we are doing Little Cup, which can be pretty interesting. I've only had a little bit of Little Cup experience in it was another draft league. It kind of like died out. It was really early on into Gen 7 and stuff like that. So I don't have too much knowledge still of Little Cup. I played a little bit. I tried to do a little bit more research into it when we decided it was going to be Little Cup. And hopefully I'll be doing fine this season. Who knows? But as for the coaches, I'm really happy about the roster for this season. It's really, really hype. We got a lot of new coaches, a decent amount of returning coaches. Some coaches unfortunately couldn't return. But we do have new coaches this season that will definitely make up for that. Examples of those new coaches are like PokeaimMD and the Bronx Bearticks, and then we got Emvee, we got Chimpact, we got Gator, we got Gypsy King coming for Wi-Fi in the LC format. Stuff like that, man. It's so hype. It's so hype. Gonna be a very, very nice season. I already know it for sure. But as for the draft for Little Cup, we get 10 Pokemon. It's tiered format, A, B, C, and D. We have to get 1A, 2B, 2C, and a D. And then we had 200 points remaining for those. And, of course, the tiers had their corresponding points for what they were worth. I had 15th out of 16th, so I had no clue what was going to come to me. I really felt like there was no point in kind of making a core until it got to me, considering it was going to kind of be like that. So, draft was happening. A lot of strong Pokemon were going, of course. We had a few LC Ubers that we actually allowed, such as Apom and stuff like that. So that was kind of scary, but some things were also banned. We, as coaches, we voted on what we think should be allowed and shouldn't be. So, going into this, I definitely had no clue what was going to drop to me. I knew a bunch of busted stuff was going way early on. I was a little bit surprised about some things that made it to me though, and one definitely caught my eye. It was a Pokemon that I knew is very strong in LC and is even used in like, I think there's a new tier below PU now, but I don't ladder at all. Call me out for it. But I know it's just a very strong, viable Pokemon, and I definitely wanted to give it a try because I have used the grown version of it, and I kind of enjoyed it as well. And that was me picking up Pawniard round 1. Basically, because Pawniard is so strong. It only has 85 attack, but that is pretty strong for LC. Just throwing it out there. Very strong boy. Especially with Stab Knockoff. So helpful in Little Cup. Because of all the Eviolites. It just makes it irrelevant. The item is gone. They're just their natural bulk now. But also, we only allow 2 of the same item held. So you can only have 2 Eviolite users per game anyways. This also does apply to like Scarf users, so like you only choose 2 choice Scarf users, 2 choice man, nothing more, nothing less, stuff like that. But Pawniard, really strong Pokemon. Amazing sweep potential as well, and just like Swords Dance Sucker Punch sweep, because a lot of Pokemon in LC are pretty fail. You do have the bulky mons, but then I just knock off, get all that chip off, or I get chip off with other Pokemon on my team. Hazards with Pawniard are so key, and that's what I kind of wanted to go around for this route, for this draft. Also, going to point out there was a lot of snipes this draft. A lot of snipes. I've never been sniped more in a draft before, but I'll go over that later on. But Pawniard, it gets access to Stealth Rocks, of course, the Stab Knockoff, like I already mentioned. Sucker Punch is so key for priority and taking out the Pokemon that might want to revenge it that might be faster than it. Of course, Iron Head for its other stab. Also does get some other coverage and like just crazy things like X Scissor, and then it does get Zen Headbutt as well. Pawniard's just a cool mon. I really like just how powerful it is with like Adamant Life Orb at like +2. It's ridiculous. Even like not even be adamant. Like it's a good Scarfer as well. Like if I get the Defiant boost, I could basically just sweep a game at that point if they're not careful. So people have to be aware of like potential drops and stuff like that, because Defiant is just so threatening for a Pokemon such as Pawniard. If they want to try and defog, they might get punished for it. So I knew going into this, after getting Pawniard, I just needed a very solid fighting check, of course, and I needed very strong hazards to go along with it. And being the 15th, I'm very close to the wheel, so I knew I would get very solid synergy with my picks, especially if I wanted to hit him Nate and be like, yo Nate, what are you picking up so I don't get screwed over here, man. But yeah, I was pretty happy with Pawniard, I'm not gonna lie. For a pretty strong Pokemon like that to make it down to 15th, I was happy with that. There's a few other things I wanted to try, like I wanted Ghastly and stuff like that, but of course that didn't make it. No, Ghastly was on there, but I've already tried that. So I wanted to pick up Pawniard because I just felt like it was stronger and stuff like that. So going into the second round pick, of course, this was like right after the wheel with Nate. I knew I wanted to grab some bulk with Pawniard, some solid support. I did mention like I wanted hazards and stuff like that, but I had an ideal Pokemon that I thought was going to make it back to me. So I wasn't really too worried about that at that moment. I wanted to go in and grab this tier 1 bulk that I felt like went really well with Pawniard, and that was Slowpoke. Slowpoke, of course, helps Pawniard out with its main fighting weakness, and then of course resist in the fire weakness that Pawniard has, and of course also the ground typing. Even though Slowpoke does not resist it, it is a water type to where it at least threatens out those annoying ground types, and I can make a nice regen pivot with Slowpoke. Slowpoke is so great because of the regen ability. It is a very fat Pokemon that's going to be holding Eviolite just about every game, to be completely honest. It's just so reliable with that. Scald, Psychic, Stab, of course, is so nice. I could run Zen Headbutt depending on when, because Slowpoke does have more attack than special attack, surprisingly. But its natural bulk is just so helpful, and easily I can just get like 1 or 2 more fat mons and I'd be fine for the rest of the draft. I really don't feel like I need anything else personally. Slowpoke is just that reliable. I have Thunder Wave for speed control, which is very helpful. It's just a very solid pivot mon. It also gets Slack Off if in case I can just sit there and just wall out a Pokemon. Calm Mindset might be viable 1 week. Honestly, I don't know how viable Calm Mind Slowpoke is compared to that of Slowbro, but I'm assuming it's not that much different. Like I said, still testing out LC. We'll see how it goes. But I knew Slowpoke was going to go well with Pawniard because I did want to pick up some sort of very solid bulk. And looking into it, a lot of just decent bulk was in tier 1, so I want to go ahead and grab one of those. And I felt like Slowpoke paired pretty well with Pawniard, and I'm definitely feeling like it's going to help out the team, because I'm going to be seeing a lot of like random fighting type coverage, whether that be hidden power fighting or, you know, just a random like low kick or brick break, something of the sort. Slowpoke will be a nice scout for that, nice pivot, because of that regen ability and because of that fighting resist, which is going to be very, very key. So knowing I have Slowpoke, I have a very solid water type now and a pivot for Pawniard. I really wanted to get my hazards coming up next, and I wanted to get a very strong setup on. 2 Pokemon that I had in mind for that. 1, I wanted Dwebble. I looked into Dwebble and I fell in love with this thing. I remember seeing it used in some LC Showdown lives, to where it was either Hazard Stack or Shell Smash, and it was viable for both, and that was a B tier, and I really wanted Dwebble. 1,000,000% I wanted Dwebble for its Hazard Stack and spikes and rocks, and then potentially being a Shell Smash sweeper, and then getting access to Rock Blast because multi-hit moves are busted in LC. I know that because we are doing level 5. It's not level 50. In my opinion, it's not Little Cup if it ain't level 5. But yeah, I really wanted Dwebble. That gets sniped from the pick in front of me by Elite Four Dan. Really upset by that. But shout out to Elite Four Dan for making these amazing graphics. He made all the graphics for the APA, so make sure to give him some credit for that. He really enjoys the love that he gets from making these graphics because he does an amazing job. He deserves it, so keep that in mind. But still, screw him for sniping me. So that was the first snipe of the draft. I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm not including any snipes for like my first overall pick because I had 15th. So I was like, it's whatever. But Dwebble, sniped. I was like, okay, hopefully I can still get my potential sweeper, because I really wanted to get Croagunk. I was always interested in Toxicroak, and I know Croagunk is slightly better in LC compared to Toxicroak in standard format. So I was like, yes, I want to try Croagunk. I want to try and get a very solid sweeper. I get rid of potential like vacuum wave fighting type that Pawniard doesn't have to deal with later on. And Emvee takes my Croagunk. Made me sad. I got double sniped in the same round. Really, really unfortunate. Emvee actually sniped me a decent amount this this draft, but you'll hear it. You'll hear it. You'll know what he sniped me of. You'll see how that goes. But after that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pick up busted stuff because why not? After that, I decided to go with Archon for round 3, which was debatably a B tier. People kind of wanted it in an A tier, so it's actually a really good pick for B tier in my opinion, because it's got 112 attack, even though it has the Defeatus ability, of course. 112 in attack is very strong. And 70 in speed is pretty decent to where it puts in a lot of damage versus a team. A very, very strong Pokemon, especially when I have, like, we're not 4C captains this year of APA. We have whatever Pokemon you want, unlimited. It's just not Omni Boost or Evasion Boost, anything like that. So I can rotate between Pawniard, Archon, and the rest of the team later on, which you'll see, of course. Archon just was very strong. I was even debating actually picking this first overall, and then going with tier 1s after, because it's kind of a steal. And just being able to get it like round 3, I was really surprised, so I just went with it. After my Pokemon were gone, I was like, I'm just gonna pick up something broken, I suppose. So I want to go ahead and pick up Archon, and then I picked up something else, which I'll go over in a second, that was pretty broken for kind of B tier and stuff like that. But Archon, Stealth Rocks, Defog, not so much going to be using that as often. It's going to be a purely offensive Pokemon. I do get potential setup and agility for the speed if I need it, as well as it gets like Hone Claws. Archon, of course, is very strong with the acrobatics, so hopefully I can eat a hit, get off like a berry juice maybe, get back to full, and then acrobatics does a lot of damage. Of course, it gets the Stone Edge coverage, it gets access to other things as well. Earthquake for any like fat steals that might want to stay in my way and stuff like that. So Archon is very sick mon. Also gives me access to Tailwind, which is going to be very helpful for Pawniard, because Sucker Punch isn't always going to be an option for some like fast Pokemon, anything like that. Or if they're faster than me and they have like priority Mach Punch or Vacuum Wave, it might be helpful, you know, to have faster Sucker Punch, even though typically they might be a fighting type and it's kind of irrelevant. So I'm kind of just raining on over nothing right now. And Archon, you know, it's just power. It really is just power, and that's why I wanted it. So I feel like it's going to go with this team. I have 2 very strong wall breakers in Pawniard and Archon right now. So if I can get those solid hazards like I want in the later rounds coming, I will. Because that is what I kind of need with this team. Completely. 1,000,000%. But next up, I want to go ahead and grab another bulky Pokemon that I think is pretty good for B tier as well. And that is Lickitung. Because Lickitung, if you don't know, is extremely fat. This thing has a nice fat 90 base HP stat and 75 in both defense and SPDF. With Eviolite, this thing is eating hits for days, and of course, just like Lickitung, or sorry, Licky, it has the Wish Protect to where it can just get that. Fortunately, I'm not gonna have the leftovers with small, like, you know, health over time, but Protect is still good for scouting moves and stuff like that. It gives me another knockoff user for items, which is always so helpful in LC, in any battle anyways, so just kept talking right there. But Lickitung, definitely kind of happy I got it, even though it's another Pokemon weak to fighting and my flying type doesn't resist it. Pawniard 4 times weak, of course. Slowpoke is just a really solid pivot, and also Slowpoke plus Lickitung is just so fat I felt like I had to do it. Slowpoke's kind of weak on the SPDF side anyways, so getting Lickitung with a nice fat normal type is just always helpful. That's what like Licky is kind of known for like its low tier normal SPDF bulk, very nice. So having Lickitung is going to be a little bit helpful with that. Of course, it has access to the ability in Oblivious, so it can't be taunted. It always gets up its Wish and Protects, which is very cool. I can get the knockoffs. I have a lot of coverage and random moves, which might be helpful at times. He has so much that I'm not even going to go over it, but shows how much I know, right? But I'm kind of happy to grabbing Lickitung, honestly. sometimes I feel like I kind of thought it'd be too fat of a mon to go on my team, but like if I go ahead and get this bulk, I'm not going to need some later on. Even though bulky offense probably would have been better, most of the bulky offense has already like been drafted and stuff like that, so it's like I kind of just have to go with what I want to go with. So Lickitung I felt like was going to be pretty good support for the team. Also, I can get a Pokemon without solid like regen or something like health regen, like whether they don't have synthesis, slack off, anything like that, and then I just wish into them, stuff like that. Archon's low, I could potentially get in a free wish if I don't bring a Roost Archon, something of the sort. So I'm really hyped for Lickitung. I almost said Slowpoke again, but that's because it's just gonna help out with Slowpoke a lot. It's gonna be a nice bulky Pokemon. It's gonna help out the team. So that will do that for that wheel. Going into the other ones, I knew I wanted Chespin because I wanted a solid Spiker, and I wanted a pretty decent Grass type. And what else did I want that was sniped? Something else was sniped this round. I know 3 things happened in this match, but that's all behind this round, and that's all behind Chessman. But something else happened, but either way, next round I wanted Chespin, like I mentioned, for decent grass bulk, even decent offensive potential, and spikes mainly, be a decent setter, stuff like that. And what happens is that Chespin gets sniped by Emvee. Cool. It's like, okay, I'll get a backup in Shelmet. Shelmet gets sniped. I'll get a backup in Venipede. Venipede gets sniped. All my Spikers got sniped in a single round. That is insane. And it had me crying. I did not think I could get headshot by a sniper 3 times in a row, but boy did I get sniped a lot this round. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm even going to pull up some of these images because I'm pretty sure I was sniped in round 4 after my Lickitung as well. And I'm just trying to pull it up to see what that unfortunate event was. Because, honestly, it just hurt. This draft hurt a lot. Okay, Shelmet was taken round 4, so that was like the first sniper or whatever. And then round 5 is when Chespin and Venipede were taken. So I know that for a fact. Yeah, those 2 were taken then. I was like, cool. If I'm going to get sniped this much in the draft, I'm going to make sure I just get stuff that I know I for sure want. 2 mons I had in mind since the beginning before even looking into like actual competitive LC, knowing what mons are actually going to be the best for my team and stuff like that. I knew Pokemon that I wanted just for the fun of it. First off, that is the mascot Charmander. I wanted my boy on the team because Charmander is the best baby mon ever. It is so adorable. For those of you who do not know, the Charizard line is my favorite line. Charizard X is Mega Charizard X is my favorite Pokemon. Charizard in general is my favorite. Charmander is my favorite baby. I love them all. So having him on the team is pretty hype. I just wanted him on the team. Like, I know he's not the best fire type necessarily because he doesn't even get access to Solar Beam, which I didn't even know until after. But having access to Dragon Dance still being a pretty strong Pokemon in general. I believe it has 60 special attack and 55 special. No, 60 special attack and 55 attack or 50 attack, something of the sort. So it's more viable on the special attacking side, but like it does get access to Dragon Dance, which gives a potential sweep there. Pretty decent coverage, which allows for solid Z-move sweep, whether it be like Inferno Overdrive, of course, with Flare Blitz. I do have Thunder Punch with Electrium Z if I want to use that versus a bulky water type. I do also get access to, of course, like Earthquake and stuff like that. So Charmander, a really cool Pokemon, mainly because he's my mascot. I mean, hello. Hello, the logo right there. Shout outs to Elite Four Dan again for making that logo. The graphics god, like you don't even know. The Brit that's in the APA purely because of his graphics. But Charmander, I'm just happy I have it on the team purely because of the mascot pick. I actually sniped like 2 or 3 coaches with Charmander here, which felt good considering how much I've been sniped. But like I said, I was getting sniped so often, I wanted to make sure I could pick up the mons that I knew I for sure wanted going into this draft, because I wanted to have some fun with it, and the fact I was getting sniped already this much, I knew I wasn't going to get the very strong, solid team I wanted. So I wanted to make sure I could get some fun out of it and get some of these Pokemon. So first was Charmander with that, because I wanted to get my boy, my fire type. I was like, I'll get my grass type eventually. I'm not really too worried about cores for LC too much at this point. And I wanted to grab another mon that I had fun with, that became a meme in the LC League that I brought up to you about before, and that is Fred. Fred, if you do not know, is Cubone. This thing is strong. Okay, everyone knows how strong like the Marowaks are with their thick club. Cubone is also strong. It only has 50 attack, but with the thick club, it hits so hard, and I love it so much because it's such a great meme, dude. Cubone is so sick, especially with Boomerang being able to 2-hit your opponent and taking out potential sashes that are pretty often in LC for Pokemon such as like Ghastly, Abra, stuff like that, as well as a lot of the very solid, sturdy Berry Juice types. Those are very annoying mons, but Cubone's just there. It gets me a ground type for an electric immunity, which is nice. Maybe not the most ideal because it's not that bulky of a ground type. It does have like 90 defense, but you know, Spit F side, not the strongest. So, but also gives me another Stealth Rocker, which is very nice because I only have Pawniard and Archon at this point, which more so I want them to be completely offensive with their moves and always be Stealth Rocks. Cubone would be more likely a Stealth Rocker if I do bring it in a match. I've just had a lot of fun with this Pokemon when I brought it. I brought in a Belly Drum set before for fun. Ended up getting swept by a Belly Drum Magby that game, but we're not going to talk about it. It's just the idea that it's there. It does get Power Up Punch. It is a very solid knockoff user. It does also get access to Elemental Punches and Thunder Punch and Fire Punch, which can be very helpful for like bulky grasses and waters. It's just such a cool Pokemon. Cubone is also very adorable. Probably my second favorite baby Pokemon, to be completely honest. So I wanted to get those two Pokemon for sure, Charmander and Cubone, because I've used them before on teams, and I just wanted them to represent my team as the Charlotte Charmanders. Like, they were just too cool. I wanted them for sure. Everyone had that Pokemon. Like, I knew for sure Kyle wanted Apom going into this. I knew some people were going to get, like Dan, 1,000,000% was getting Shelter. He got that first overall. He loves Cloyster, and that's why he's Chelster. That's why he got Shelter. But, you just got to get the Pokemon that represent you. But, unfortunately, getting these Pokemon a little bit early did kind of mean I was getting sniped of what I want for the rest. And kind of at this point for the rest of the draft, I didn't get stuff I was really too happy about. But I knew I wanted to still try and get hazards. I wanted a Spiker. There wasn't that many left. There was only like, there was Cacnea, I know for sure, because I was considering it as my grass type. What was another Spiker? Like, I don't even know. Like, there was some other ones, but like, other stuff was drafted, like Badoo was already gone. Okay, I'm being dumb right now. But either way, my Spikers were getting sniped left and right, especially in that round with Charmander. When 3 of them went away, that hurt me so hard, man. Like, feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. Clap. But, like, boy, that hurt. So, going into the rest of it, I knew I just needed to find some sort of Spiker. And that's why I decided to kind of dip into D tier and go ahead and pick up Wimpod. Because there's not that many good D tier Pokemon. I'm going to be real with you, they all suck. The best was probably Togepi that got picked up by Leo, which is now on aDrive's team. But I just want to get Wimpod. It actually has an base 85 speed, which is pretty fast, so it gives me a very speedy spike lead user. If I feel like the team doesn't have, my opponent's team doesn't have solid removal that they could potentially bring, or they don't bring it at all, and I notice at the beginning of the match, I get to use it there. Unfortunately, it does have like his Wimp Out ability or whatever. But I'm not too worried about that. If I can get up a Spike and then he gets switched out, I'm perfectly fine with that. Even though I'll probably be unlucky and get a pretty unfortunate switch. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, there was nothing much in D tier, so I wanted to go ahead and pick up a Spiker for like Wimpod and then try to focus on getting decent Pokemon for the rest of the draft. Because I really just didn't know what to do for the rest of them. So I wanted to go ahead and get a Spiker because there's more decent Pokemon in the C tier and B tier that I could potentially still pick up with my free points. So I wanted to look into that, and but I wanted to go ahead and get up a for sure Spiker. So I got Wimpod. I didn't think it was going anywhere, but I wanted to go ahead and grab it. You know how that goes. But and then on the wheel, I wanted to also grab my Grass type. It was something I saw. I wanted to get another remover, and I want to get some more Bird Spam as well as a Grass type. So you might already know it, and that is Rowlet. Rowlet, I wanted to grab second best starter in Aloha. Did I just say Aloha? Alola region. But, because of course Litten's the best. Duh. Fire types always. Unless you're the Delphox, that thing's ugly. But anyways, back to Rowlet. Amazing grass type because it also is the flying type, which I really actually enjoy. Even though it's 4 times weak to ice, I can deal with that perfectly fine in my Pawniard, my Charmander, my Slowpoke. I deal with them fine. Even Lickitung can eat a hit from just about everything. I really needed the other Defogger. It does give me Baton Pass for potential momentum. Even though we're only doing Dry Pass here, cannot pass stats. I can pass Sub, or I can just Dry Pass. So that's what Rowlet would be used for. Does give me potential sweep as well, because it still does get this set of moves that Decidueye gets, of course. Brave Bird spam with Rowlet is actually really strong. I wasn't expecting to be so strong, but then I saw later on that it really was. Because it's just such a strong move for just LC. So does get access, of course, to like its other stab and Leaf Blade, stuff like that. Could be potentially a special type, not just physical attacking. So I really didn't use Decidueye at all yet, actually, in Draft League format. I know a lot of people used it, and they were like, they actually liked it pretty decently. I never got into it. I didn't think I was going to draft it, but I'm like giving Rowlet a try now, so I might give Decidueye a try if I really do enjoy Rowlet, so hopefully I do. It was kind of unfortunate Rowlet doesn't get access to U-turn and stuff like that, but having Baton Pass is still good enough, I suppose. But chip is chip, it would have been helpful, you know. So looking so far into my draft right now, I've finished my Fire Water Grass Core, even though I wasn't really intentionally looking at it. I'm not going to be picking up a Dragon and a Fairy type, because there's not that much in LC to begin with, to be completely honest. And I don't know what I really want to fill in with my last 2 remaining Pokemon. I'm going to tell you right now, what I actually did is not what I kind of agreed with. I was asking a lot of people, and they just kind of went this route. They're like, yeah man, you should get this solid web setter for Pawniard, Archon, and stuff like that, and just give really solid support for Pawniard. And I kind of agreed to begin with, and that's what I decided to go with, but later on I would change my mind. But I'm going to go over my FAs in this anyways, so don't worry about that. But first off, I decided to go with the lower Pokemon, because Nate couldn't steal my B tier that I was going to get, and so I wanted to go ahead and draft Weedle. You might be thinking, why would you get Weedle as D tier? One, I had to get a D tier if I was going to grab a B tier. With my remaining points, I had 80, so 60 for a B tier, and then I had to get 20 for a D tier. So I had to get a D tier, and I got Weedle just to snipe Miticus of his mascot pick, because I am a dick. There's nothing more to it. I'm just a dick. I just wanted to take his mascot pick because I knew he was probably going to pick it up because he had a D tier open and Weedle was right there. So I knew he was going to take it, and he said he did. So I took it just for the sake of the draft, for the meme. I'm going to FA it immediately, and then he could pick it up if he wants to. There's a lot more vital things in D tier, because if you did not know,
Weedle only gets 4 moves.
So, even though it'd be sick to bring the same Weedle set every week, because I have no choice, but easy to prep for. No, I'm kidding. Weedle's booty cheeks anyways. I just want to grab it purely for the meme. But I'm not going to be having it anyways, because I'll be going over this in a second. But next up, I wanted to grab this B tier. This was the main reason for me having to grab Weedle, was I wanted to grab Surskit, very solid web setter in the B tier, and a very solid web setter in LC in general on the ladder. I know this for sure, but I didn't want to go with it later on. I felt like it was good, but like I had 2 of the only potential 3 bug water types in the entire game on my team, which kind of felt kind of weird, you know. And I had a lot of bug types in general on this team, so I didn't want to do that anymore. So I wanted to change it up just a little bit. I wanted to also, I don't know, I just wasn't liking it. I wanted to go with my initial thing. My initial draft that I was considering, for or at least my last 2 picks, I wanted to pick up Skorupi for a T-Spike setter, as well as a poison type to absorb T-Spikes, because I didn't have the strongest removal, I felt like, with this team. Not that I don't go crazy with removal on a team necessarily. I just wanted me to still potentially have like something to absorb T-Spikes in case I don't want to bring like Defog, in case they don't have like any other reliable hazards or anything of the sort. So also a poison type is always helpful to have. And I wanted to also go with a potential another sweeper, which I definitely found in my FA. So I have Surskit and Weedle for my week 2. For my week 1. I will probably not use them my week 1 battle, but I will use them later on. Also, I was looking into Voltorb Skorupi. That's mainly what I wanted. But Emvee took my Voltorb. he sniped me again. Because Voltorb is the fastest mon in LC, and it would be a very solid Volt Switch Pokemon. Even though Emvee, you know, he had his Ponyta and Staryu, very solid speeds right there, he still wanted Voltorb. Man, even had Tailo too on his team. He still wanted Voltorb. Feels bad, man. But I felt like I still should have made these FAs, and I did. So effective week 2, these Pokemon are going to be on my team. I'm just letting you know now, because I did not bring them for my prep in week 1, which I already did. So you want to be seeing Surskit and Weedle week 1. I don't want to use them. So I immediately made these FAs. That's why I'm already putting this on here, because I don't want to make a transaction video a week after my draft analysis. I'd rather just put it on right here. So I have Skorupi and Binacle. Binacle, Shell Smash, of course, sweeping potential. Also gives me another potential Stealth Rocker for the team, which would be very cool. And I just feel like it will work, you know? It's a very cool Shell Smash sweeper. And Skorupi, another knockoff Pokemon, gives me the T-Spikes like I mentioned, and that's all I wanted for right there. But it also gives me Whirlwind potential, which allows for me to get rid of any potential setup, which I really didn't have on the team otherwise, which I didn't even notice. So it's pretty good that I picked that up. And honestly, I'm pretty happy with the team after at this point. I was still really sad because I really wanted Dwebble and Krogunk. And the fact both of them were sniping me in the round, I was going to pick one of them up, made me really sad. So, but a few other snipes, of course, we know happen this game. I'm playing Fortnite, dude, right now. Happened this draft. It was really, really unfortunate, but I felt like I still made do. I'm going to try and have fun with LC because we have a lot of strong coaches this season. And I don't know personally how I'm going to do after I took a short break from Mons and I came back and I'm a little bit rusty after you see me battling in the PBL. So it's going to be a little bit iffy going into a format, especially that I don't know that much about. So bear with me for the first few weeks, especially for week 1 when I take on Emvee, which I know is very comfortable in LC, and it's just a Lord in general. Even though it will not be a mistake taking him on week 1, trust me. But definitely going to have fun taking him on. Also, I didn't go over my nicknames. So, for this season for APA, typically I do like some anime names, some meme names, and stuff like that. I'm not a complete weeb, just so you guys know. If anything, like APA last season, I had a lot of Avatar Last Airbender memes. That's not even an anime. That's just a cartoon because it was made in America. Made in America. But, like I did recently do My Hero, like all names and stuff like that. That was my first anime, just so you guys actually know. But I wanted to do Fortnite nicknames this time around. Nice and cringy, so y'all will be seeing that. I told Kel, Under the Radar, because we are the duo team. We are gods together. We we're starting tournaments now, which is actually pretty cool for Fortnite and stuff like that. But we wanted to do nicknames, Fortnite nicknames for our LC Pokemon this season, so we do have that. Make sure to check out his Pokemon for that. But as for my Pokemon, Pawniard's going to be nicknamed Omega. Archon is nicknamed Myth. Lickitung is named Tim the Tatman, which is, it was too perfect. I couldn't. He's fat and it looks like he has tattoos. I had to, I'm sorry. Charmander is going to be Triceratops because it's kind of the dinosaur and it's red, so I had to go with that. Cubone, no Fortnite nickname. Cubone had to be named Fred. Had to be named Fred. For the sake of the LC meme, it will live on even though that league is long beyond dead. Fred, of course, just comes from Fred the Flintstone. So, Wimpod was nicknamed, believe it was Moisty Mire. Let me pull this up because I don't want to get it wrong. I believe I nicknamed him Moisty. No, I nicknamed him a Leviathan, the fish skin. Yeah, that's what I nicknamed him after. And then Rowlet, I have nicknamed Raven. And then originally when I had Surskit and Weedle. Weedle was nicknamed Gray SMG. This was like before the buff and where it was still actual doo-doo. And then Surskit I nicknamed Loot Lake. But now I have Skorupi and I have Binacle. Skorupi I nicknamed Carbide because it kind of looks like Carbide, even though I think Shiny Skorupi is better. I couldn't think of a nickname for that. So I just decided to go with normal Skorupi. I'm nicknaming it Carbide. And then for Season 5, I got Palms over here for Binacle. It just fits so well because he's got face literally on his palms. and you know, Paradise Palms. So even though that doesn't fit for an entire nicknames, I just thought I'd put Palms, and it works out pretty well. So yes, I am a child. Yes, I do enjoy Fortnite, and yes, hopefully you will see it on the channel soon. Wink. But as for APA, I hope you guys are really, really hyped for it. Like I mentioned, we'll be facing Emvee for week 1. Uploads will be every Sunday. It will be uploading replays for people who do not know. Unfortunately do not have a cap card with me, so I do upload replays, but it allows me to go more in depth because my live comms aren't personally the best. So replays are what I am better at for giving post comms, and I'm giving my full in-depth analysis. Let me know if you guys want to do team builders. I might not have one for week 1 necessarily. It's really just Little Cup, so I don't know if I want to do team builds necessarily, but if you guys want to see one, let me know, because I would do that in a separate video compared to the battle, because that just takes too long. So let me know if you guys want to see that. Otherwise, I'm just going to be uploading the battles every Sunday, other replays. Team builders would go up Saturday if needed. But that'll be it from me, guys. Make sure to check out my other stuff on my other content. Check out every coach in the league. Make sure to sub to everyone. I'm sure you're subbed to some of the bigger boys, but check out all the other guys, man. We would all appreciate it. Everyone appreciates every sort of love. And I hope to see you guys for the weeks to come for APA. I am very, very hyped for this, and I can't wait for another great season of the APA. And that'll be it. Sub, like, share, deuces.